Well, look who decided to show.
Hello there.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Wow. A couple things already broke, but that's okay. I think people might start popping their heads in soon. For now, just gonna do some last minute setup. Might even do a couple test runs myself. We're streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Wonder if my avatar is working right now. Looks like he is, but he's also broken, it seems. That's always fun. Why are you broken, little guy? Oh no, his neck has collapsed in on itself. Ah, crap. Whatever. Okay, well, what's supposed to is not happening. We're just doing some testing here. I wanted to get voice mod up and running. So if anybody does stick their head in... Oh, Garnikin's here. What's up? Garnikin, look at my little shy guy. He's struggling. Oh, no. I'm trying a new tracker for him, and he looks like his spine got removed. So maybe we don't use him today. Poor shy guy. Let's see. So what are we working on today? Well, the fun thing is I have it set up to where we can play a game. So you, Garnican, are player number 1 for being here first. But there are a few things I want to make sure are working before we start. So I'm gonna try using my voice mod changer. And the big iffy here is OBS is actually taking up a lot of resources. My CPU is already overheating. So I'm trying to think of how I can optimize better. And what might be causing the bottleneck. So just to give you an idea of what we're struggling with right now. I'll send this to the top. So this is basically what I'm looking at. And OBS is going from 40 to 50%. And it only goes up this high when we start recording. And I think it's because of how many sources I have. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm optimized here. I'm gonna have to close some unnecessary programs. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing sets on fire while we're streaming. Asked me to look at Discord. I'm trying not to open Discord, but I guess I'll pull it up on my phone. Usually he'll send me a message like if he can't connect for whatever reason. Oh, interesting. So apparently my Twitch chat moderation, oh, it's on the shield mode. That's why. I should just disable this. Don't blame the messenger, says Guardian. But yeah, shield mode is something that I have set to automatically turn on whenever I'm offline. It's supposed to automatically turn off when I go online. But, you know, technology. You know. I'll at least turn this off for now. But yeah, computer is now going very slow, and it's making me kind of sad. But this is a good test. I'm gonna have to optimize after this. But let's see if we can play, see how well my computer manages to keep up. Hey, Suhaib. And thank you both for helping me understand what the problem might have been. See, so we have multi-chat up and running. So we're live on Kick as well. Hi. Let's see if it goes through. It's going to YouTube a bunch.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hey!
Hey.
Hi.
Hey! Hey!
Okay, that's not annoying.
Hi.
Check. Are you guys ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons? Woo! The correct answer is yes. And also, Kick doesn't seem to be responding. So we might not be working with Kick today. If anybody shouts at me on Kick, they'll understand pretty soon. Alright, so what are we doing? We are gonna do a test run. Let me get some fantasy music up in here. We need like dungeon music. Maybe some like mysterious music. So I'm hoping by the end of this week we'll have some good clips, like we can start promoting, and then next month it's gonna be hit or miss, make it, break it, whatever. So, hopefully you all can hear me. The first thing I wanted to test was to make sure you guys could hear
my voice changer? Is my voice changer working? Hello, hi. This is my voice changer activated.
And now I've deactivated the voice changer. Whether or not you can hear it, it's okay. I do have audio monitoring, so I was able to do a little bit of testing before the stream. Hey, Ding Dong Diddly, what's up, dude? Ding Dong, if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with us, we're trying chat plays D&D. Come on over to YouTube or Twitch. Those are the ones that we got working. So, let's hope this works. Resetting the players. We're gonna have a new keyword. Now I gotta find my keyword. There's so much stuff. Oh man. I really underestimated how much I've done in the past week. Alright, well, we'll just use the old keyword. So I can see Garnican and Suhaib, you're typing. Dorkbot said some stuff. Play Game for Fun's here, what's up? Unfortunately, Kick is still not connecting. So if you're on Kick, come on over to Twitch or YouTube. Looks like D20 is going to be the keyword. D20 to enter into to play. How are you? Doing well, Play Game. We're trying Chat Plays D&D. So if you want to potentially be chosen as our player, just type D20. And now we're testing Garnican as player 1. Player 2 is going to be Play Game for Fun. And player 3 is going to be not me. I'm already hanging out. Okay, cool. So we have our players chosen. That went well. Now, type any class you see from the chat list. So if you were chosen, just type the class word. You'll see it in chat. So Artificer, Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. Okay, so Garnican's a wizard. Ding Dong Diddly. Oh, I see, you spelled it wrong. Good. I'm glad you caught that, because I almost didn't. Okay, no worries, Play Game for Fun.
On the move, so we'll see how the connection will work.
Should I not have you in the queue then? If you want Play Game for Fun, I can give you know, player 2 to someone else, but if not, I'll just pick one of the classes. For testing purposes, okay. We're gonna make it work, play game. So you're gonna be monk. And then player 2 class will be monk. And then we saw Ding Dong Diddly misspelled barbarian. So all that means is I just need to input it. So it's player 3 class, barbarian. So this is a good test. So now we have Ding Dong Diddly, it's player 3. Play game for fun, player 2. Garnican, player 1. That didn't take too long, it was a bit of a detour. This music's making me very melancholy and sad, so I need to change it. So now that we have our characters, let me just show you what you kind of look like. So we basically picked from these individuals. So these are all of our player tokens. So now I can take each character. So just for simplicity's sake, we'll go into each column and I'll drag and drop them. Oh, wait, that was wrong character. So we've got our player 1 character. Then we have our monk. So player 2 character. And then we have our barbarian. So that's our player 3 character. So the 3 of you are now on an adventure. Ideally, I would be using a poll system here where you guys get to vote. Unfortunately, that's not currently working. The easiest way to get it working is if I was an affiliate on Twitch, but I was focused on other things. I hope to have it working tomorrow. But if you're one of our players, you can go on an adventure to a cave, to an ice lair, or to a tomb. Take your pick. And if you guys don't pick one, I'll pick one for you. Whoever types first, that's where we're heading. We're going to the tomb. Okay. Tomb. Hey, Blue Tulip, what's up?
Voting for cave.
Voting for cave. Alright, so the way this is going to work is we have our 3 characters now. So it's a dark tomb. You know, when you step inside, you're not going to know what to do. You can't see anything. The first thing one of you do is light a torch. So the torch illuminates the room for you. And you place it up against the wall here. So your party is now anxious to explore. And so you check your belongings. You want to know what you have and to work with. So let's do a roll. This will be the very first roll, and you guys are my test dummies. You're not dummies. You're just tests. You're guinea pigs. Oh, I see. Okay. So this might get complicated. This is why we're testing things. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying to set something up real quick. So, first roll of the game. Let's see what happens. Alright, I need each one of you to just type a word, any word. It can be anything, and it could be you saying something in character. So your character is like, I'm gonna go exploring. Like, now would be the perfect time to be like, I want to walk into the dungeon. I want to pull out my axe. I want to cast a spell. So Ding Dong Diddly coughed and rolled a 2. At least that's what it looked like he rolled. It didn't say it in chat, which is a little bit concerning.
Give me a moment, guys. I think I got something.
And so it rolled a 5 for Garnican. play game for fun.
Ew.
Rolled a 19. Okay. So,
Shannon, smiley face.
okay, good test, good test. Don't worry about the dice on screen. So, play game for fun. Decided to take a couple steps in to the room before them. So I'm hoping this will follow. And so play game for fun, tapping into their monk prowess and experience. Takes a deep breath.
Wow, that's counted.
And begins to maneuver through this dark, decrepit tomb. Your employer talked about goblins infesting this tomb in particular. And so most of you are on edge. And so as you look around,
Play game for fun.
go ahead and give us another look around as you explore this room. This room happens to be a little bit too dark for your comfort, but you strain your eyes as you peer inside. And so all you need to do is just type any word. And so ideally, there's going to be time in between each one of these rolls where I can set things up.
Keep to the left wall so we don't get lost.
Okay.
Light my staff.
Oh, okay. Come and get me, goblins.
Come and get
So-
me goblins.
So lighting up your staff with a torch, because you're a monk, you're trained in kung fu. You're not exactly a mage of sorts, but you do have a little gasoline concoction in your pouch, and you just pour it on the tip of your staff just to give a little bit of light to the room. And the first thing you notice is a small chest. What do you do? So unfortunately, the camera is not cooperating. And so your friends, Ding Dong Diddley and Garnikin, are right behind you.
It's that kind of monk.
It's that kind of monk, yeah. A pyromaniac monk.
Open the chest and be prepared for a trap.
Oh, you're prepared for a trap, are you? Okay.
Smash
So as
open
you-
chest with my head.
Smashing open the chest. I'm trying to drag and drop a chest and seeing how difficult it is right now. But this is good. This is a good test. Good test. Images. Wow. Cracking open the chest. Play a game for fun.
Initially, though, about Martial Heroes Game Month.
You immediately get caught in the tendrils of what appears to be a tongue that wraps around your ankle and begins to pull you in, reeling you in to what can only be described as a mimic. And so your friends rush to your aid as you're being reeled in to the chest. And so now we'll do a test initiative roll.
Thrash and yell.
Thrash and yell. Okay, so I'll hit the dice roll one more time. I think some of these rolls need to be automated. So tell me how you guys are feeling as we play of like what needs to be sped up. So for example, instead of waiting for you guys to type something, I could just roll for you for this part.
Release my friend, foul monster.
And so combat kickstarts here. We're also going to be adding combat music specifically. If it is too loud, please let me know. This is great testing. And so there's barely enough light to see the toothy grin of this mimic as it begins to leap at our friendly monk here, who screams for help. The mimic does get an initial attack. It's gonna bite you. Or else, or it's gonna try to. So targeting you with a bite. With dexterous reflexes, you swat it away with your staff, which is illuminating this cavern. And so our barbaric friend now acts. Player 3, go ahead and tell us what you want to do. I recall you saying you wanted to smash open the chest with your head. So charging in. Your next words will describe your attack.
Interesting.
You run forward.
Many years ago played something similar, only didn't have any visualization, only text.
But yeah, the idea
Run
here
forward
is
and hit with my head.
the idea being you are able to interact with me as the streamer and play Dungeons & Dragons. I think there's something really special about this that we can make it work. So you run forward with an unarmed
Monster
strike
with my staff between eyes.
while your monk friend readies their own attack. You smash it with your head using an unarmed strike. Striking true for 4 points of damage. Very good. And then our monk friend pokes the monster in its gut, pushing it away with its quarterstaff. So some of these rolls, I think it is more beneficial to just do, and then you guys kind of like describe what you're doing, rather than me waiting for you to roll everything. It's hard to say though. That's why we're testing things. But unfortunately, the mimic bites the staff and won't let go. You begin to swing it around. Play game for fun. And you're barely able to pull away. Our wizard, now ready, casting a spell. What would you like to do, Garnican? You could cast a firebolt if you chose. Other spells in your arsenal include Magic Missile, Sleep, Ray of Frost. You could conjure up a ethereal hand to serve you if you choose. Ray of Frost cantrip.
Cast Ray of Frost cantrip.
Very good. So this is another opportunity for me to explore how I can show you what you're able to do. So targeting the mimic, it appears to be working, but we'll use Ray of Frost. And a beam of icy light shines from your arcane focus, impacting it. It's still alive, barely. You see as it begins to chomp through the ice, now encasing its entire frame. We come now to the Mimic's turn, who's been enraged by the Barbarian, striking it with its head. The Mimic will go for a bite. Oh, sinking its teeth into our Barbarian. He takes 12 points of damage. But it comes back to the Barbarian. What would you like to do?
Fight it back.
Fight it back!
Create electric twister.
Electric Twister. Is that your special move? But then the Barbarian
And
Bite
charge.
attack activates. However, that's a natural 1 on your strike. F in the chat. Comes down to our monk, though. Is there an easy way to end turn? Use item, end turn. Here we go. So our monk, desperate to get an electric twister on this Mimic. Your quarterstaff strikes it in the face, the bonk cracking the frame, and the Mimic is no more. Combat has ended. Inventory. Alright, ding dong diddly.
Inventory check.
You investigate further. See what loot the beast was withholding. You find an old backpack in its gut. And digging through the backpack, you find torn up rations. It seems as though it has been digesting much of what was in that backpack, but coins are not so easily digested. You find 2 gold pieces, which I will add to the inventory up at the top. The 3 of you, having come together and being broke as you are, level 1 adventurers, you were able to afford 1 potion of healing, which between the 3 of you is your only way of restoring health. And so, now you anxiously await in the darkness as you hear the chitter-chatter of goblins in the distance.
GG.
Ding dong diddly.
Eat partially digested rations to try to regain HP.
And so, you begin to munch on the digested food. It doesn't taste great, but you do find some nutrients. Some of the more healthy parts.
I would like to cast light cantrip.
And you restore 2 points of healing. Garnican casts a light cantrip. And so now a light will be following Garnican. What color is your light? I'll let you choose, Garnican. Default being like a blue. And I'll see if I can attach it to your character here.
Blue is fine.
Blue is fine. Oh. Alright, this is a good test, but I don't think I can attach that light very easily. Oh, it is moving with you. Nice. However, we're getting
Weapons
some...
check. I should have done that earlier.
Ding Dong Diddly, you have a great axe as well as 2 throwing axes that you could use if you chose. Seems as though our lights are having some problems. That is very strange. Oh, it appears as though I've taken some walls with me. Very well. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Just testing some new things out. Okay, so now the light should be good to go. As you flick your staff on and off, the mysterious music begins to play once more. And so our friends begin their parade through the dungeon once more. Staying close to the light.
Enchant all weapons to restore HP after each critical hit.
If only you could play a game for fun. However, as a monk, you're able to meditate and restore your health as such. But when it comes to magic, you don't have a good understanding. Your barbarian friend usually gets angry, and when he's angry, he takes less damage. Wounds don't seem to open as easily on him. You, on the other hand, you're more agile. And your wizard friend, he's very fragile. But the 3 of you make a good team as you delve deeper into the dungeon.
Shannon, smiley face.
Out of combat. And so the 3 of you stick together, your barbarian tending to his wounds in the back, your wizard friend providing just enough light to see around you.
Do I have the stuff needed for the level 1 spell healing elixir?
Healing elixir. As a wizard, you unfortunately don't know much healing magic. Now, the 3 of you are not keen to rest at this point. You'll want to explore more before you take a break. Do you have a manual? With your specific abilities, I'll just give you a quick lowdown as a monk. Here you can see things in your inventory. You have your quarterstaff, a torch, some rations, your water skin. You're very good at punching, so monks are essentially kung fu martial artists. And so you'll use your quarterstaff to deal most of your damage, but you can also strike with your fists as a bonus. As for inventory, you have your Dungeoneer's pack, which doesn't necessarily have anything other than a crowbar, a hammer, a baton, a torch, a tinderbox, rations, water skin, and a rope. They might come in handy should you find uses for them. Our wizard friend, he knows all assortment of spells. However, he's more offensive in nature. He knows the sleep spell, magic missile, mage armor, ray of frost, shocking grasp, fire bolt. And he could cast these larger spells that encompass more damage, more area of effect, a couple times per day. But he does have spells that generally could be used, without limits. Those are called cantrips. And so they're more or less parlor tricks. And our barbarian, while he does seem to prefer using his head and headbutting things, he has a great axe and several hand axes at his disposal, as well as javelins that he could throw very far. He also has access to what's called raging. So when he's raging, he deals more damage while also taking less damage. Yeah, Garnican, I gave you Light. Light's one of those spells that everybody benefits from. And I believe you do know it by default?
BTW, this is a game created by you.
This is a game called Dungeons & Dragons Play Game for Fun. I'm trying to make it simplified to where anyone can play it, just like tuning into the stream. And I think what I'll do is have it to where there's like 15-minute, 20-minute intervals where after those 15 minutes, another chatter can jump in and start playing. But let us continue our adventure. As the three of you continue, would you like to go south or west? And, oh, I see Ding Dong Diddly suggested going south. So that is where we will go. So with the wizard in tow, and our barbarian friend feeling a little bit woozy,
And guys,
three of you.
anyone who can see a good reason not to send a firebolt down the hallways to show is them for a moment.
And so the wizard suggests this to the party.
Let's go west.
Blast away. Play Game for Fun shouts to go the other direction.
Blast away. Eiley.
But first you send a bolt of flame that illuminates the hall. Let me give you a nice bright red light. As our wizard casts the spell. It flies down the hallway. You notice several figures appear in these cubbyholes. It appears to be about 2 before the bolt of flame strikes against the opposite wall. So you know that you're not alone, and there's at least 2 enemies in the near corridors. What do you guys do? What do you want to do?
Sends a firebolt down the other way just in case.
Okay. So taking a couple steps back.
Any recon abilities or spells?
Your monk is relatively stealthy. You could send the monk in stealth mode to kind of scope out the surroundings. But the wizard takes another moment to cast a quick firebolt in the opposite direction. And you do see what appears to be another chest in the far room before it strikes against the wall.
I'm wondering if what we saw is only activated when they see us.
Hey, Suhaib. 2 weeks? It's been like a week, maybe a week and a half, Suhaib. And if what you saw was activated, it's very clear that your presence is now known, as you are not only illuminating the entire tomb with your fire bolts, but also keeping a light on you at all times. It is kind of a beacon, in a way. So I'll ask all 3 of you to roll for me. So you can type anything as you begin to look closer and try to pinpoint where these goblins might be hiding out as you hear their chitter chatter.
Locked.
Listens for a moment.
So we'll do a perception check for this. Oh, you'll get a turn, Suhaib. I'm kind of sad that it's not revealing your guys' roles. So I gotta figure out why or how I can do that. So it's using Steam Rolio. Stream. So I'm just trying to figure out if I can fix that at all. Because we can see the roles, but we can't see them in chat. I could have sworn we were able to do that before with the roll commands. Roll d20. Okay, maybe it's turned on now, but I'll go ahead and have you guys all roll again. So just...
Goes true, a weak connection.
Nice, there's Play Games for Fun's roll. So PG rolled a 10. So I can put that here. So it's adding your modifier there. Ethereal Plane appears to be...
Persive.
Garnican persives. So we roll a 3 for Garnican. And so Ethereal Plane is kind of like a bot monitoring our game chat. And so what I'm doing is I'm manually inputting the rolls that you guys are rolling through chat. And of course, these are kind of like extra steps that I'm unsure if it's worth it to have. But there's the 14 from Ding Dong Diddly. Yeah, so hey, we're not doing that again. That broke so many things. And so our barbarian friend notices, and I'm going to put like a marker for you of light where both goblins are. So you know that they're in these two cubby holes. There's one, and there's one. So you know where they are. How do you guys want to proceed? As you sneak closer and closer. And I'll say you get a pretty close distance without revealing yourselves. In fact, I'll add you all to initiative. As the goblins seem to be kind of like sending out signals to each other, waiting for your arrival. It is very laggy, Suhaib. I've found that something's...
Somersault through doorway and instantly launch 2 throwing axes, one from each hand sideways simultaneously at goblins.
I'll allow it. So our barbarian somersaults into the fray, instantly throwing out an axe to both sides. Immediately noticing the goblins tucked away in their corners inside these cubby holes. They try to leap out and attack you, but you're too quick on the draw as both hand axes fly across the battlefield. There's the first one.
I love goblins. You can do whatever you want against them, and only paladins will complain. Firebolt against the closest goblin.
Firebolt against the closest goblin. Excellent choice. The first hand axe, unfortunately,
Sneak to left goblin
misses.
and silently eliminate target.
And our monk friend begins to sneak up as the wizard unleashes a bolt of flame against the closest goblin. Alright, so I'll go ahead and play this out. And this should be like the turn by turn here. The bolt of flame strikes the goblin just as it peeks its head out, ready to ambush you all. The hand axe slices through its shoulder, and you see the arm hanging limp as the bolt of flame impacts it in the chest, sending it flying back into the cubbyhole from which it spawned. Whereas our monk now leaps up and into combat. Quarterstaff at the ready. Whacks the goblin on the head. Playing whack-a-mole. Oh, that's a critical hit for 12 points of damage. You watch as its skull caves in to the clavicles of its shoulders. That was a quick and dirty combat.
Attack with fist.
Play game for fun seals the deal with a fist to the gut. Combat is over. What do you guys do? The bodies sit there lifeless. Our wizard walks up.
Recover throwing axes.
You safely recover both of your throwing axes. Loot the corpses. Okay, Garnican, give me
Loot the corpses.
Another description of you looting the corpses. Oh, there it goes. If I'm quick on the button
loot.
press, it rolls the dice, which is nice. This is stinky, Garnican says.
This is
Well, the
stinky.
17. Let's see, both of them had some good loot on them. We'll do a quick roll. You find a climber's kit. And some soap. That seems very unused. Perhaps the goblin was just sniffing it. But I'll add it to your inventory.
Search areas goblins came from.
Okay, so... Yeah, Suhaib, we're kind of testing everything right now. You're not missing anything, and I hope I can answer questions as they come up. So, Ding Dong Diddly begins a quick search. Go ahead and type once more, Ding Dong Diddly, and we'll see what you roll. Rolling. Let's see, did I hit the button? There it is. Rolling a 14. So as you peer into the cubbyhole, you notice a lever. And play game for fun, you investigate the other side. You also notice a lever. It appears as though there's two matching levers on both sides of this tomb. What do you do?
Slowly turn his head and nods.
So you turn and nod, waiting for your monk friend to respond. Of course, Garnican. I'll show you your spells. So this is your spell book. And so play game for fun. As you're looking, you notice two levers. You and your barbaric friend are both standing next to the levers. They seem to be matching in their architecture. You don't know what they do, but your barbarian friend nods in your direction, waiting for your response. That's a good point, Garnican. Maybe I can have like some sort of handout. Ideally, I'll have like a website that people will be able to click through. But that's all hearsay for now. So the barbarian nods, anxiously awaiting the monk's response. They are levers.
Ladders.
Lever.
Shannon?
But play a game for fun, you understand. Oh, it rolled twice. I guess because you typed twice. Back to back. Interesting. But you understand what your barbarian friend is trying to do. Do you pull the lever? At the same time?
Can we use rope to pull the lever?
If you want to. Would you like to tie some rope around the lever? And if you do, what do you do with the rope?
Shannon?
Why does it say Shannon? And so our monk ties rope around the lever and walks back into the middle of the tomb
Guys,
here.
Want me to use Maggie Hand on those things?
Yes.
Okay. And so, understanding the plan, to an extent, Ding Dong Diddly steps aside and the monk ties another rope around the other lever. And you all meet back in the middle. Garnican uses Mage Hand, and so we have a spectral hand now floating. Let me see if I can get a visual for you. That's not bad.
And pull levers at the same time.
Okay. So pulling the levers at the same time. The magical hand gravitating towards one. And the rope wrapped around the other. You both roll. And you notice two trap doors matching on both sides. Activate. Falling a couple feet below onto deadly spiked traps.
Shannon, smiley face.
It appears as though this tomb has been booby-trapped. However, at the same time, the doors begin to open, leading to what could only be described as a room containing a king or some sort of leader. And so, you all could confront this entity together.
Lost connection.
What race is the king? You all hail from a human kingdom.
What race is that king?
So most of them are human. And this appears to be some sort of lord or lady of the local manor. There appears to be some history here. And as smoke begins to pour into the tomb, you notice the creature begin to stumble its way towards you. Seems as though animated. What do? It appears to be undead, like a zombie of sorts. It appears to be wearing fine garbs, perhaps like a king.
Firebolt.
Firebolt!
Throw javelin at its foot to pin to ground.
Okay, so you all get the surprise round on it. As the firebolt is let loose, and the javelin flies across the battlefield. We see the firebolt only strikes it for about 1 point of damage. The javelin misses as it flies straight through its rib cage. Alright, we'll enter combat as you all now face off against the Skeleton King. The final boss. And the skeleton now begins to shamble forward. And it goes for the wizard in front. With a short sword attack. 16 to hit. What do, wizard? You do have a spell in your arsenal. Would you like to use shield?
Use fist with full power.
Cast shield.
Casting shield as the blade erupts, cutting through your robes at the last second. This explosion of arcane energy frees you from the potential injury. As your monk leaps in front of you, using fist with full power. Your attacks coming through. Targeting the skeleton, you let loose with 2 fist attacks. First one to miss. Second one to miss. As it bashes your fists out of the way. Our barbarian, what do? Garnica, feel free to use the voice chat. That's the fun of it.
Charge and try to grapple.
Okay. Our barbarian charges the skeleton and attempts to grapple as a successful roll. As the skeleton tries to contest and only rolls a 7, you successfully grapple the skeleton. If there's anything else you'd like to do, let us know. As we come back to our wizard, who has a moment of respite.
Attack with staff.
Our monk rears back with his staff, ready to attack. But the barbarian finishes their turn
Headbutt.
with a beautiful skull-to-skull headbutt.
Cast Mage Armor on the barb.
Ah, your mage armor can only be cast on yourself, as the magic kind of encompasses your own frame. You're welcome to cast it on yourself, but unfortunately your barbarian does not benefit. The skeleton tries to writhe in agony as it's unable to pull itself out of the strength of our barbarian. We come back to our monk, who bashes it in the head. Full strength. "13 hits. And you sock a fist into its gut for another D4 point of damage. And the skeleton crumbles beneath your feet. And you notice it was wearing a crown. This appeared to have been the king, or at least some sort of lord. The combat is ended, and you all should be ashamed of yourselves.
That else do I have in inventory?
Play game for fun. You do have some general dungeoning equipment, like torches, pitons, which are good for climbing, rope, rations, water skins.
Weak connection.
No worries, play game. This has been a good test for me as a trying to narrate all this and navigate it. And so your party gains
Cast Identify on the crown.
some gold. And casting Identify on the crown, you discern it to be a magical object. And it appears to have driven this king mad, as it is a crown of madness. There's a curse upon it. What do you do?
Spot on it and walk away.
I don't think we should wear this. We can sell it, or we can try to destroy it.
So you would sell a cursed crown?
Magic is evil. No offense, you too.
I'm a wizard, not a paladin. No offense taken.
So the crown itself begins to vibrate. You can tell that there's still some magic left within it. And as you cast the spell, identify upon it, it begins to resonate and almost absorb the spell. And a spirit begins to form. What do you do?
Toss down trap door.
Okay. So the trap door, you pull the lever once more, and as you watch the trap door unfurl with spikes before it, you hear the crown ding 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 clink.
Wait for spirit to emerge.
Ding Dong Diddly was the first to act as the crown falls to the bottom of the trap floor. It's still retrievable. You do have a mage hand. But you can tell a spirit is beginning to form.
Now cast spells on it for spirit to emerge.
Huh. I'm trying to...
Sure, mag hand. Poke the crown, hoping that the monk is a good diplomat.
Shannon, smiley face, smiley face.
Okay, well, I'm having trouble getting the images on screen. You guys don't get to see him, which kind of sucks. Drop as tile. Oh, maybe? I think it's working. Oh, it's way too big. As the giant spirit rises from the pit.
Who has disturbed my slumber?
Its voice chills you to the bone. And you all feel the hair on the back of your neck stick up. You can tell that this ghost is no less the wiser as it rises from the pit below. However, the crown remains down in the trap.
The spirit was trapped in the crown by dark magic, and finally we freeing from prison.
Some goblins. We just got them to stay silent. Sorry for the noise.
Goblins have infested my tomb for too long.
PLAYGA to 9LOL.
Why have they come? Do you know? Is it because of my good looks? Do they want my crown, which is several thousand gold pieces in value?
So this is me testing the voice changer. I don't know if it's working well. And yeah, I apologize for the corny story. It works? Okay, great.
No gold? Got anything to drink?
You may drink from my storage of ale. When I died, I told my 3 wenches to bury all the alcohol with me. It was then that I realized I cannot drink when I am dead. And now I am a ghost, which kind of sucks, but I am no longer thirsty. I do not crave the booze. Anyway, let me show you my crib. Let us go and explore and be friends forever. You can never leave, by the way. You are now my slaves. For I am a spirit of imaginable power. Did I say imaginable? I meant unimaginable power. Okay. Thank you.
And you guys lose. Thanks for playing, everybody. You guys lost. You resurrected the king, and you're now in his employ. You're all a bunch of serfs now. And you can never leave the tomb. GG! Well done, everybody. Good game!
No.
Good game! Well done.
Oops, D.
Full-time job, any benefits? Yeah, you get unlimited alcohol, which is pretty good. It's not bad. Alright, if you guys want to play, we'll do another one. This has been good for testing. Where's the keyword? It's D20. And if you did play, I would ask that you allow others to play. Thanks, Ding Dug Diddly. Appreciate the test. I'm glad you had fun. It'll hopefully get better as time goes on. Alright, Wayward's here. Suhaib's in. Garnican will get you in too. No, Garnican, we have just enough people.
BRB.
So, looks like 3 people entered, and you were the 3rd, so thank you. Alright, we got player class. So now, You can pick
Woo.
whatever class you want to be. So you'll see the list in chat, Artificer, Barbarian. You just type the word. That's all you have to do is type the word.
Cleric.
Fighter.
Rogue.
Rogue. Okay. We have a black screen, which kind of no bueno. Alright, so we've got player 1 as a rogue. Player 2, the fighter. And player 3, Garnikin, is a cleric. So I gotta
have
find
a manly voice noise.
Ironically, I think that voice is like Ben Shapiro. So we have our rogue. And then Suhaib is a fighter.
You.
Ew. Too late. That's your character now. And then player 3, we have our cleric. Yeah, it's a little bit laggy, so I gotta figure out how I can prevent some of this lag. You guys might not get too much of my lag, but I am feeling it. I'm feeling it. Alright, so the three of you, would you like to explore an ice cave or a normal cave? Ice cave or normal cave? Feeling that lag? Oh, that's so relatable, Wayward.
I'm feeling my lag too.
Ice cave or normal cave? Welcome back, Suhaib.
I'm back.
Normal cave?
Normal.
If you insist. Okay. So the three of our intrepid adventurers step into a dark cave where you understood that several children have gone missing lately. There have been sights of wolves in the area, and the townsfolk have thrown together a couple gold pieces to pay for your services. The three of you are mercenaries that all decided that going alone would be more or less futile, a suicide mission. Banded together, you'll share the gold upon your return.
I'm glad
but
I didn't miss this.
the three of you now step inside this cave. Go ahead and give us a perception check. Just type anything into chat. It can be, I look around the cave, or I pull out my knife and scrape the walls. Whatever you type, we'll roll the dice. Or at least it should.
Anything.
A natural 20 from our cleric.
I look around and take a heavy sniff.
And take a heavy sniff. Sadly, the dice rolls aren't always showing up. So that's something I'm going to write in my notes, because that's like one of the main reasons why I enabled those.
I pull out a torch.
Okay, and Suhaib also pulls out a torch illuminating the caverns. As Wayward begins to sniff, you notice the very familiar smell of wet dog. Why is it familiar? I don't know, do you have a dog?
Light if I can.
Yes, as a cleric, you are able to cast that spell. So we'll give you the light aura. This one being slightly brighter. So you're gonna
There's
walk
totes,
with
wolves,
you.
and hair.
Hatch. Boop, boom. Okay, the light has been attached. There's totes wolves in here, says Wayward.
I
Take the torch back, Sahib? A torch can still be useful, given the situations. But the three of you, now faintly aware as you hear a in the distance. You're familiar that goblins are also in the area, and who knows what else you might find. But who would like to go first? Step up. Step up. Okay, I need like cave sounds.
What weapons do I have?
For weapons,
I look for
Suhaib,
traps.
you have a long sword, a great sword, as well as a crossbow. You also have a shield, so you're very sturdy and could take some hits compared to your friends. Your rogue, Wayward, begins to scout ahead. So, Wayward, describe how you look for traps. Like, what's your technique? Is it your sniffer?
I pull my sword and my shield and go towards sound.
And so, pulling out the sword and shield, the
I
fighter
look at the
begins
bottom
to
of the entryway over there.
pass before the rogue. The Wayward stops them just in time. Looking beneath the caves, you find some mushrooms. They don't appear to be traps, but they're mushrooms nonetheless.
I
And our
follow
cleric-
him, but stays a little behind.
The cleric providing light stays a little bit behind as our rogue stumbles upon these mushrooms. What do you do? They're mushrooms, but who knows what that might entail?
Sniff them.
You sniff the mushrooms. Excellent choice.
Cast detect poison and disease.
Oh. As you begin to cast the spell, it takes you a few moments. It's a remedial spell, but useful nonetheless. You immediately notice that these mushrooms are edible, and it appears as though they've been snacked on a bit by some of the comings and goings of dogs, likely wolves. Several of them are missing, but you can see that there's a small pile of vomit next to them. Casting the spell Detect Poison and Disease, you get the impression that yes, they are in fact poisonous, as they begin to glow with like a toxic light. Is there anything you'd like to do? before the fighter now presumably goes deeper into the cave.
Cast Purify Food and Drink.
Okay. You actually find a very nice, nutritious source of food. You gain about 5 rations.
Over and cast
Tiptoe over and past them as Wayward begins to tiptoe over, beginning to keckle and kerfuffle. Our cleric picks up the remaining mushrooms, and you gain about 5 rations that you can use however you see fit. And Suhaib, close behind. Who wants to scout
Wait
ahead?
a little back and shoot them with crossbow.
Where'd they go? Our cleric
Where did they go?
picked them up. The blue things, yeah, they were mushrooms.
You should make it so you can use asterisks or something to speak out of character.
Ah, I'm glad you said that, Wayward.
The blue things?
Exclamation point works. So anything with exclamation point at the start of your message. I'd like to get music situated, but it's not easy picking music. So I'm just going to put some mysterious music on. It was kind of weird how Ben Shapiro started, I don't know, having a seizure. Okay, so as you all begin to walk forward, you notice several wolves lying in wait. It appears as though they're in
Move
pain. Their
forward and tell the
guts
cleric to go behind me and him holding the shield.
still reeling from the pain of those mushrooms. It appears as though that was a recent endeavor, as the 2 wolves cuddled amongst themselves are still retching. And you can see the bioluminescent fungus at their feet. However, they begin to growl as they notice trespassers. What do you guys do? Move forward, Suhaib, and tell the cleric to go behind me. So, leading the charge, the fighter approaches. You can see that they're getting quite defensive as they begin to leap.
Shoot them with crossbow.
Okay, combat has begun.
Don't worry, I will stay behind.
Our rogue, what do? You're the first to act. As the fighter pulls out their crossbow, the wolves suddenly getting to their feet and leaping forward. But you're quicker, Wayward. What would you like to do?
I step to the side away from them and draw whatever weapon I have. Whatever I had to the side away from them and draw and
Okay. So stepping aside, you take out your short bow and you knock an arrow and let it loose. Rolling a 19 to hit. Which strikes true for 8 points of damage as the wolf shrieks in pain. The wolves now get their turn. And the fighter being closest and easily spot, they leap at you. And they go for a bite attack. The first one strikes your shield. The second one comes around. Also misses as you duck just in time. Our fighter, it's now your turn. Player 2. What would you like to do? You have your crossbow knocked. You can let loose a bolt, but they're too close, and it might affect your accuracy. What's up, Pog U? And so, Suhaib, it's now your turn. What would you like to do? You have your sword. You have a great sword. You can defend yourself and let your friends deal the damage. Using the sword. You target the wolf before you. And you cut it down. Yay! As the wolf lets out a final yelp. It's our cleric's turn. Player 3. What would you like to do? You also have a crossbow, but you have magical spells, which I'll give you the spell book because I know that interests you.
On the last wolf.
Rolling a 7, your magical spell unfortunately doesn't take effect, as the wolf just kind of like shrugs it off as chains of binding begin to try and bind its form and slow it down, but it just shrugs it off. We come back now to our rogue's turn. What would you like to do? So I think what I've decided on, stabbing the wolf. Question mark?
I stab the wolf from the side. From the side. The wolf.
So lunging forward with your rapier, you get it by the flank. Unfortunately, you miss a vital, and the wolf just barely takes a glancing blow. The wolf turns to face you now, Ben Shapiro, and goes for a bite. 14 to hit, which does beat your armor class. And you take 7 points of damage. It's our fighter's turn once more. As our rogue is pinned down, the fighter leaps behind the wolf, pulling out the greatsword, forgoing their shield. Rolling a 13, which is enough to hit. Dealing 14 points of damage. You cleave the head of the wolf clean off. The rogue barely holding on. Combat has ended.
I'm strong.
I'm strong. Garnikin rushes to the rogue's aid and casts Cure Wounds.
Do we have supplies?
Got
We
mushrooms.
got mushrooms.
And the touch of the cleric, you watch as the holy symbol appears before the rogue's wounds, and they all bind together, flesh stitching together. And the blood evaporates. Help! Help! You hear
Like Mario.
you hear the voices of children echo across the cavern walls. We'll do a perception check. And I think it's just easier for me to roll this, because I found out the dice do not like to be rolled simultaneously. So like I was enabling all three of you to roll at the same time. That just was not
Run
working.
toward the voice with my sword and shield.
You run towards the voice. Alright, well let's see if you are able to discern which direction it's coming from. So our fighter, our cleric, and our rogue.
And watch out from the children.
The rogue trips up for a second, unsure of where the echoing voice comes from, but the fighter knows and charges forward. The two of you can only keep up. And as you crest around the corner, you notice many webs that appear to coat the walls themselves. What do you do?
Finally, the power is back after about 10 hours.
Welcome back. So there's many, many webs along the walls.
Walk along the walls and look at them.
Taking a look. Okay, let's see how careful you are, our rogue. While our fighter
Shoot a torch
shoots
with my
a
crossbow.
torch with their crossbow. I think it might be easier to just keep the turn tracker on indefinitely. I don't know. Okay, I was looking for some webs here. And I don't think I have any webs. Wow. But you're quick to notice the small spiders skittering away from the torch light flame. as it engulfs a large encasing of webs. So I'll place down a torchlight that now at least illuminates the cavern itself as a swarm of spiders begins to inch its way towards you. It's much more threatening than it appears.
Shoot an arrow.
Okay. So combat begins once more. Our cleric is the first to act.
Shoot it with torch.
How big are they? They're so teeny tiny. That's them right there. They're very proud. They're a proud swarm of spiders. Stomp on them. Your cleric holds up their hand. What do you do, Mr. Cleric? You can throw Sacred Flame upon them. Wayward rolled a 20 to stomp on them. Garnican might have stepped away, so I'll help out and throw out a Sacred Flame. Yes, you can cast Shield of Faith on others.
Can I cast Shield of Faith on others?
And the way Shield of Faith works is you are able to still cast your Sacred Flame magic. But if you would like to put Shield of Faith on an ally, you are able to. As flames erupt underneath the spiders, they take 1 point of damage. Who would you like to put your Shield of Faith upon? As our rogue begins to stomp on them.
Sacred Flame it is.
Rushing forward. Using your trusty boots. You deal 3 points of damage to the spiders as now they begin climbing on you.
Up.
Shield's coming up. Anything else, rogue? The fighter puts the greatsword back on their back, pulling out the shield.
Stop, drop, and roll away. Oh, stop.
Stop, dropping, and rolling. And that was very effective to do so. Our fighter, pulling up their shield, will charge forward with a long sword, raising their shield. 11 unfortunately misses, as the spiders, now unable to reach the rogue who has stopped, drop, and rolled, the true counter to a swarm of spiders. They will now nibble and gnaw upon the fighter, giving a bite, many bites. However, the fighter's armor withstands the minuscule blows. No damage received. So he pulls out a torch and begins waving it around, attempting to burn them alive. Our cleric, it's your turn once more.
Cast Bless on everybody.
Oh, you cast Bless. So targeting your allies. You must target tokens. Sadly, I have to do it, but that's the name of the game. So you cast the Bless spell. Anyone who acts while under these effects rolls an extra d4 dice, adding it to their rolls. You all feel blessed by the holy power of your cleric. Our rogue, it's your turn once more. You get up off the ground from your awesome stop, drop, and roll technique. The rogue begins to hum. And rolls a 9. Very effective. Super effective. The spiders begin to crawl upon your fighter friend. How would you handle a ton of minuscule spiders? You don't have any magic. All you have are your weapons. You have a rapier. You have a bow and arrow. You have daggers. You have your signature stop, drop, and roll.
When it's my turn, just shoot arrow.
Suhaib begins to cock their crossbow. Our rogue leaps and lunges to attack.
Snack the spinners with my hands.
You smack them with your hand. It's super effective. The spiders begin to crumble under the wrath of your palms. And our fighter knocks an arrow to shoot the last few down. And they are no more. However, you hear in the distance the skittering of much larger spiders as the torch suddenly goes out. Help me! Help! 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 The screaming children echoing across the caves as you see the beady eyes of a much larger mother spider.
Shoot with flaming arrow.
Takes a mushroom, casts light on it and throws it.
The spider approaches. You throw a glowing mushroom at it. It bonks it on the head.
Now.
Okay, and combat begins once more.
I stab the spinner.
Stab the spinner! Suhaib lights one of his arrows on fire. And it sends it flying. Acting first is the spider, though. Leaping in front of the flaming arrow. It goes for the closest target, which happens to be the cleric. For a bite attack. But misses. The cleric uses his own shield and the blessings of his goddess protecting him. The fighter knocks another arrow. I figured I'd let you guys roll for each of your turns. I gotta find a way to optimize this. But I do look forward to any opinions you have as you've been playing. Go ahead, Suhaib, and tell us what attack you'd like to do this round.
Stabby stabby.
Stabby stab. It's currently Suhaib's turn. Pulls out the great sword.
Use great sword.
Leaping before their friendly cleric. Our fighter pulls out a great sword. And cleaves, only impacting the dirt. The spider is cunning. Our rogue, it's now your turn. Let's see what you roll. Oh wait, Suhaib rolled a natural 20. Oh my goodness. That might have actually killed it. Alright, so that would be 2d6.
Save.
Oh! So that would be about 9 points of damage. It's still alive. And so our rogue, as you sneak up behind it, pulling out your rapier. I'll wait for your roll. Let's see what you got. Wayward escapades. I think the best way to do this would be holding your message until your turn is called. And you can at least see up at the top.
Rolling.
And then that way I can automate the dice roll. Which I do like the idea of. It's like you describe what you're doing, then you roll. And then it's like you have this sense of urgency, I guess. However, with a 6, that's not enough to hit. As you lunge forward, your cleric reeling back as the spider had previously attacked them. Let's see what you got, cleric. What do you want to do? So Garnet can player 3. Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame.
Okay, that's a 2. However, Sacred Flame is up to them to dodge. Dexterity saving throw. They failed as the flames erupt, combusting them. Combat has ended. The blessings now subsiding.
I'm going to use great sword again. NBM.
You guys are shining so brightly. Is there an easy way to remove your glowiness? It's fine for now. And so,
is it the
your
bless
party,
that makes us glow?
Yeah, it's bless. With combat coming to an end, you all gallivant and cut through each of the cocoons, eventually finding the scared children who were stolen not more than a night before. You return to town and retrieve your bounty, earning 2 gold each. And I add that to your coffers. And so that was an overall good test. I'm glad you guys played through this with me. There's a lot of things that I didn't account for that seem to still be breaking. So thanks, guys, for helping me test this.
Gives the
This is
gold to the
probably where
local
we'll end.
church.
Your two, not alls? Oh, that's very kind of you.
My two not alls.
I will happily give that to the church. I also got like 2 phone calls during the stream, so I kind of have to return those calls. But what'd you guys think? Oh, your first impressions. There's a lot of things that went wrong, and my stream has been very laggy. So I'm going to watch it back and see how the recording fared. I got to find ways of automating some things. So let me pull up my notepad here.
Good game.
Good game. GG. Auto turn. So that turns our player.
There was also a lot of things that worked.
Yeah, a lot of things did work. So here's an idea of what I'm looking at. Basically, I have my game master view, which I can control pretty much everything. Like I can add enemies. And then this window is your guys' view. And so you can see all your characters. It's not very well responsive. So it's like I'm trying to do everything in the game master view. But yeah, I'm really feeling some lag, so I gotta figure out the lag. So player 2, player 3. Pretty darn cool. Thanks, Wayward. There's a lot of things that worked. Yeah, what worked well? Most things did work. I'm trying to improve the flow of things. I think the flow was hindered by not having tokens and tiles available. Which I found out it was a certain button. So if I were to show you the buttons.
Next stream tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll probably do about the same time. It's good to get practice with this and building and expanding upon it. So this is where my cloud library of assets is. So for example, I can drag and drop, let's say, a spider, just as an example. And I'll pull it out of my monsters here. However, it's not going to have like stats and stuff, and it's going to be too big. So that's what happened with our King Ghost. So that kind of like broke a lot of things. So maybe I need to have like a character. That's a scary spider too. So here's the same spider, but on the smallest size. Hey, what up, Potato? Welcome in. Oh wait, that made it bigger. We're just wrapping up. Today was basically the test run for automated chat plays D&D. But welcome in. Gotta run. Thanks, Wayward. Hope we have a great evening. Toodaloo. Here, Potato, just because you popped in, I'm gonna make you a character. Wayward had to dip, so let me assign you Wayward's character. You be player 1, pick Potato. What class do you want to be? So you can type any class. So I was trying to fix a few things. Yeah, sad the spiders didn't work that well. Maybe if I shrink them. I mean, that's a more reasonable size. That's asset grid 400. There's 500. So with the class choosing, here's an example. I am going to be player 2. And then I'll be player 2 class bard. So now my voice be heard across the realms. Oh, I didn't hear the voice.
So now my voice will be heard across a realm. So now my voice will be heard across a realm. So now my voice will be heard across a realm. So now my voice will be heard across a realm.
Okay, so I'm having a hard time getting my characters. I know it's kind of a lot. I'm also wrapping up the stream, but you popped in, so I wanted to at least give you a quick idea of what I'm doing. Wizard? Okay. Player... Who are you? Are you 1? Yeah, you're player 1, class wizard. There you are. So now whenever you type, it will use TTS, and I can enable your next message to roll the dice.
Whenever you type it, we'll use TTS. Whenever you type it, we'll use TTS. Whenever you type it.
But yeah, we were working on this all last week, and it's fun to show it off. It's funny.
And I can enable your next message to roll the dice. And I can enable your next message to roll the dice.
Ah, Suhaib. Yes, I
Okay.
couldn't do it offline. I'll go ahead and make you a mod now, though. And
This is
Garnican,
cool.
I would trust you with it, too, if you want moderator. Thanks, Potato. If you have any questions, let me know. But, trust me when I say it's not perfect. And this whole week, we're going to be playing it just to, like, find the quote-unquote bugs and, like, how to improve it. Like, for example, we were struggling a lot with, like, the flow of not only combat, but just, like, rolling the dice. Like, I really wanted players to be able to roll for everything they did, but it wasn't very consistent, and I was having to push buttons to enable that rolling system, which is just kind of a little bit too...
Okay, I'll try and be here.
kind of trips over itself. Oh, Garnican, you
Sure, but I
don't have to
cannot
do
promise
anything.
to be here every stream.
You're just one of the types of people that I can trust. So thank you, Garnican. Suhaib as well. You guys have proven to be exceptionally helpful. Thank you, Potato, for the follow. But yeah, what can we do? I guess I could just replay the video real quick. That might be a worthwhile thing to at least show the new folks that kind of trickled in. And ideally, I'll be doing this like multiple hours a day. Right now, I'm still testing a lot of stuff. Okay, so this is the stream. Whoa, that's not the stream. I didn't record the stream. Okay, this is getting This might be a little disorienting. But I should be able to go to the live stream on maybe YouTube. Hopefully I remember. Well, regardless, thank you for stopping by. And thank you for the follow. I'm hoping to make some clippable moments. Today was a lot of dead air, is what you could call it. But this week, we're going to be trying a lot of new things. So here's the current live stream. Today, go ahead and type once more, Ding Dong Diddly, and we'll see what you roll. Rolling. Let's see, did I hit the button? There it is. Rolling a 14. This is just an example. You notice a lever. You play a game for fun, you investigate the other side. You also notice a lever. It appears as though there's two matching levers on both sides of this tomb. What do you do? You can tell that this is yeah. Okay. Well, it's hard to describe what we were doing, but at the same time, I hope I can condense it to make it easier to understand and easier for people to just pick it up and play. That's the idea. So a couple of things that I'll be doing is setting up like timers, making sure that, you know, people will play for like 15 minutes and then switch out, stuff along those lines. Yep, thank you Garnikin, Suhaib, Potato, Ding Dong Diddly, play game for fun. Thanks guys. Have a great day everybody. I'm very hungry, so that's affecting my energy right now. Sayonara!